Alright, I almost forgot a very important part. Do you mind if we rewind just a little bit? I've been waiting for you, my lords. You must be tired after a hard day's work. Is that your attempt at playing the modern wife? Impertinent whelp? Don't think I don't see what you are doing here, clever lass. Playing along obediently will do nothing to change your fate. He said it. He said the name of the game. Coś jest nie tak z tym mikrofonem. Może muszę go rozebrać i przeczyścić. My only objective is the throne. Everything I do is in service of defeating the clans and killing Morgan. You are no exception, child of prophecy. I'm quite used to bedding humans. I'm going to deflower you now. I will not be gentle. But if you wish to fight back, you are welcome to try. This is the room in Sheffield Castle's guest house that was prepared for Marsh. On the night that the child of prophecy was clothed in a bridal dress and told to await Bogart's arrival. This is what happened during her first night as Bogart's 62nd bride. What was that? Are we under attack? Huh? Lord Bogart? What in the world happened? Ah, the wall by the throne is ruined. Everyone come quick, the enemy is trying to kill Lord Bogart. Hold it, I'm fine. Do not call the other guards, I just slipped, that's all. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Still, it's amazing you are alright after falling over 50 meters. I guess that's why they call you the Stone Lion, Lord Bogart. I'm so sorry, Bogart. I will be right down. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Again, I'm so sorry. I was actually very nervous about all this. So even though you just lost your balance from being tired and were only trying to grab my shoulders for support, you surprised me so much I just shoved out with my hands. I never expected you to go flying so far. Trying very hard not to let the sudden realization of what actually happened show on his face. Guard, you are to tell no one else about this, is that clear? Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I didn't see anything, sir. Now, if you will excuse me, I must get back to my duties. Oh, the Child of Prophecy is amazing. I can't wait to tell everyone about this. Bogart, would you like me to rub your back? No, don't touch me ever again. What kind of wife knocks her husband out of a castle on their first night together? The rumors spread overnight. They spoke of an iron woman who could even throw Lord Bogart through his own castle. They said she was strong, kind and eccentric, a new fairy knight like no one had ever seen before. Man, Sheffield's been like a whole new town ever since Lady Marsh got here. She gets rid of the Moors for us, she helps out with anything we ask of her, and best of all, she even keeps Lord Bogart from acting up. It's like he's back to his old self again. Not even the Queen's army can stop us now, Norwich is as good as back in our hands. A toast to Lady Marsh, a toast to Lord Bogart. A toast to our knight, the Knight of Sheffield. Cheers. Must be nice to be you, Wag. Sheesh, the Knight of Sheffield, huh? Marsh is the child of prophecy, remember? She's not just Sheffield's knight. Sure, those princess clothes look great on her, but there's something special about her. She's more than that. If you ask me, Marsh looked plenty elegant in that iron armor of hers too. What, you jealous of Bogart now, Rob? Did you forget you were the ones who brought her here? Of course not, I just think it's sick how everyone in town is carrying on about her. I mean, I know it was kind of the same for us, but still. Every morning I see Marsh looking out at the horizon, up from atop the ramparts, and she always looks so lonely. She used to smile all the time, she used to be really happy. It makes me wonder if maybe we made a big mistake. Is that so? So what, you don't think Marsh is the child of prophecy after all now? She was just a lucky find at first, just another piece of merchandise. But then she started talking to us like we were equals, and before I knew it, I got attached to her. Me and Wag aren't from Fairy Britain, we drifted here from outside. We are basically flotsam, objects, humans, sometimes even fairies, they wash ashore here sometimes. We are like changelings, in a way. Flotsam? I've never heard that term before, but I guess that's pretty typical of Morgan's reign. We are not part of any clan, and we didn't spring up naturally, we don't belong anywhere. One day Queen Morgan's soldiers cuffed us, branded us with command spells, and just let us go. They knew we'd die when we got squeezed for our existence tax at the end of the year, so they didn't even bother killing us. That's why I threw myself into any kind of work I could find, no matter how dirty. You know what Wag is like, he doesn't even know what's going on half the time. Still, I am like his big brother, so it's my duty to at least make sure he's got enough to eat. My only purpose every year was making sure we survived. At least that kept us from becoming Moors. But unfortunately it also made me forget a bunch of things. Hesitation, uncertainty, compassion. The next thing I knew, I was thinking I was a full-blown bad guy and that I could do whatever I wanted. It would have been a lot easier if I'd just stayed like that. But being around the Mash made me realize I wasn't forgetting my values after all. The Child of Prophecy is supposed to save the fairies of Fey Britain, right? It's got nothing to do with us, since we've never truly been a part of this land. So no, I'm sure she's not the real Child of Prophecy. The real Child of Prophecy would never save us. Anis might be a fake Child of Prophecy, but she's even better than the real one. So does this mean the reason you are still here in Sheffield is... What do you know, dummy? Go on, get lost. What are you even doing here, flapping your gums? Don't you have some tailoring to do for the lady or something? I sure do. I'm Habetrot the Spinner, friend of all brides. Don't worry, I will make sure Mash stays safe, and if I ever need help, I will come to you first. Ooh, we are not scared of the Moors or the Queen. We are all gonna keep Mash safe together. You were right, Winky. If we'd just parted ways sooner, this would never have... Huh? Winky? Where would you go, Winky? Fourth platoon has returned from Edinburgh, Lord Bogart. They weren't able to meet with Knocknarea, but they were successful with their business negotiations. So they managed to procure the iron weapons, then give the weapons to the fairies and take the armor to the humans' barracks. Just having humans around will be enough to empower our fairy soldiers. They don't need to take part in the fighting, all they need to do is stay alive. Yes sir, I will have the tailor fit them for armor right away. Now where is the Child of Prophecy? Down in the town again? I thought I told her to stay by my throne. No wife of a lord should conduct herself so thoughtlessly. Who told her she could come and go as she pleases? Was it Habetrot? If she thinks she can do whatever she likes just because I value her tailoring skills, she is gravely mistaken. Tell her and the Child of Prophecy that their next infraction will be their last. Well, the thing is, sir, Lady Mash said she wanted to be of use to you as best as she could, so... If she wants to be of use to me, she should obey me. I am the law in Sheffield, and any who refuse to abide by it shall be dealt with harshly, regardless of their reason for doing so. Hey there, boss. I heard we got some new gear, so I stopped by to make sure it isn't all just junk. What's got your fur ruffled, Lord Bogart? Oh, I see. You are all nervous cause Mash isn't here, right? Hey, I get it. She's super strong after all. So with the army from New Darlington that's supposedly headed this way, You probably want her here by your side to keep you safe, since you are revolting against the Queen and all, huh? Don't be ridiculous, I don't need any protection. That girl would only make more trouble for me if she were nearby. Then it shouldn't matter where Marsh goes, should it? I mean, all you care about is having the Child of Prophecy here in Sheffield, right, Bogart? You just can't keep your mouth shut, can you? You are lucky there's no other fairy around who can do your job, or I'd have twisted your head clean off by now. Fine, I will let the Child of Prophecy go wherever she likes during the day. But be warned, Habetrot, there will be consequences if you don't deliver on the promise you've been making. That iron cylinder that was brought here with the girl is similar to Morgan's spear, yes? Have you figured out how it works? Is it something we can use? I still have no idea how it works, but I think I can at least get it to fire. I'm not sure that's how it's meant to be used though, plus just touching it makes me feel sick. Whatever that thing is, I don't think it's even supposed to exist. I cannot imagine why Marsh had something like that. Whatever it is, it really doesn't suit her at all. True, she has yet to even mention it. I suspect she is subconsciously avoiding it, running from it even. Huh? That's pretty sharp, at least for you, Lord Bogart. It's nice to hear you voice an honest opinion I agree with Never mind the Child of Prophecy. Can we use that thing as a weapon? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is a cannon and all. Do you know what a cannon is? No? It's a thing with a chamber that you pack with magical energy ammo. Then you compress and burn what's inside the chamber until something comes out. The only thing is, it takes a ton of magical energy to use, enough that most fairies would probably wither and die if they tried. So if you plan on using it, Bogart, you'd better ensure you are the only one. Don't make your subordinates do it. No normal fairy could fire that thing and hope to survive. So what you are saying is only those who are truly strong can use it, huh? That's perfect. It will be an excellent way to demonstrate that I have what it takes to be king. I should have known I couldn't get anything through your thick skull. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying before, it looks like the Queen's army is finally about to make a move. Are you all ready to face them? What will be your strategy, O Great Lord of Sheffield? Thanks to my supporters in Camelot, I know exactly how strong the Queen's forces are. She is sending her 3rd division, which consists of approximately 2,000 soldiers. She must have thought that would be enough to handle us. It's almost shocking how little she thinks of us. They will never be able to get past Sheffield's walls. Our ramparts are made from strips of the world tree's bark. They won't be easily destroyed. We have nothing to fear from the Queen's army without a fairy knight and with no Knarea moving south. She can't afford to send more than one division. All we have to do is wait 7 days for them to wear themselves out against the ramparts. Once we've held the castle for 7 days, the Queen's 3rd division will have spent its strength. Then my elite soldiers and I need only release our pent-up anger from the siege. So you do have a path to victory in mind. Guess I was worried for nothing then. Then have you told Marsh this place is gonna turn into a battlefield in a few days? What am I saying? Of course you have. What am I saying? Of course you have. She's as strong as a fairy knight after all. No, I haven't, and I won't. How many times must I tell you there's no need for that? All the Child of Prophecy needs to do is boost my soldiers' morale. Anything else would only get in my way. Make sure you keep your mouth shut, Habetrot. That girl is decoration, nothing more. Good evening, Lord Bogart. It's so nice of you to visit me again. Don't misunderstand, I'm only here to save face in front of my guards. Otherwise, no Fang Fairy worth his fur would ever come to the room of a woman he has no intention of bedding. Still, now that I'm here, I'm not about to waste my precious time. Let's discuss the Child of Prophecy tonight. How much do you know about them now that your memories are gone? Not much, I'm afraid. Only they are a fairy. They turn 16 this year and are destined to save Britain. Outrageous. I didn't think it was possible to be so abominably ignorant. The Child of Prophecy story begins 16 years ago. Ainsel, the head of the Mirror clan, who possessed the sacrament of prognostication, prophesied that the savior of Britain had been born, and that one day the true king would defeat the false king for good. In response, Queen Morgan tried to have every fairy born that year rounded up and killed, but she wasn't completely successful. There were many villages who harbored anti-queen sentiment. Some of them sheltered the newborn fairies in the hope that one would someday fulfill the prophecy. Of course, there were also some towns who took fairies born that year and tried to pass them off as the Child of Prophecy. These days, some have even offered 16-year-old fairies in tribute to the Queen, claiming they too are the Child of Prophecy. That alone makes the Child of Prophecy valuable. It's why every faction in Britain was desperate to find them. For not one fairy ever doubted that Ainsel's prophecy would come true. You see, they knew this had happened before. There have been other times in Britain's history where a savior had been born to rescue it. A figure meant to banish the great calamity that comes every 1,000 years, the one who channels the voice from paradise. At any rate, all but 2 of the records from the Fey era have been lost. One describes an incident that took place in Fey era 4000, over 600 years ago. 6,000 years ago. There, a single fairy rescued Britain when constant interclan warfare had brought it to the brink of collapse, at the cost of their own life. The second is the War of Summer in Fey Era 2000, in which war was waged against the Northern fairies who came here from the Isle of Shadows. In that war, Queen Mab's army Jak oni chcą w takim razie połączyć z tym, co powiedzieli już o zimowych wróżkach? In that war, Queen Map's army of human soldiers wielding iron weapons nearby succeeded in eradicating our ancestors. But then a single fairy stepped in to mediate between the two camps, which led to the creation of the 6 clans we have today. The savior's name was Aisk, meaning ash tree. After ending the clan wars, she was buried in the remains of Orkney, at the northwest end of Britain. The ignorant low-class fairies may believe that the child of prophecy is supposed to be the savior reborn, but not me. No matter how many times she may have saved Britain before, she still lost. The calamity still exists, that alone is proof she does not deserve to be called anyone's savior. Now, even if any of the previous saviors had succeeded at ridding the world of those accursed Moors, and the calamities that occur with ever more frequency, then I would have accepted their claims. I've noticed that everyone in town seems to be afraid of the word calamity. No, not just them. Every fairy in every town I visited on the way here was afraid of it. My understanding is that as terrifying as Queen Morgan may be, fairies still obeyed her because she at least kept them safe from the calamities, but now... That's right, Morgan has declared her intention to leave Norwich to its fate. This was her second grave error after appointing Tristan a fairy knight. I may never get such an opportunity again. You are happy about this, Lord Bogart? You can't rally soldiers without a cause for them to believe in. They need something greater than themselves. This Norwich situation is an unprecedented opportunity, Marsh. It's the chance I've been waiting for to seize the throne. I have no intention of actually saving Norwich, but I will still use the situation. My call to action couldn't be simpler. I've demanded that the Queen rid Norwich of its calamity pool and aid in the restoration of the city. If these demands are not met, then Sheffield will no longer recognize Camelot's rule. The Queen will either need to comply with my demands or send out her army to suppress us. Frankly, I don't care which option she chooses, either will deplete her army. That will give me time to collude with the Northern Fairies, invite the Round Table army in the south to join our cause, and eventually create an army of my own to rival the Queen's. You are no more than grease for these wheels, child of prophecy. I neither need nor expect you to save Britain. Until and unless you recover your memories, you are not to make a move without my permission. All I want is for you to continue giving the people of this town hope. You are no good for anything else. That's the whole situation in Sheffield. Nie no, niemożliwe. Hop w kapturze był rogalem, skrytobójcą, szpiegiem i tak dalej? Niespodziewable. Bogart has 3,000 soldiers, 2,000 in his fairy militia and 300 humans. He's also gathering more forces even as we speak, so you will probably want to make your move soon. So it would seem. Damn it, the Queen only authorized Sheffield to assemble soldiers as a deterrent against the Northern Ferries. Now you are telling me there are 5,000 armed rebels all in one place there? That makes this the largest rebellion we've ever seen. I'd say it's owed largely to Lady Tristan crossing a line with her antics. Ever since New Darlington was built, countless ferries have been slaughtered for pure amusement. Now ferries from all across Britain are harboring doubts about Lady Tristan, and about High Queen Morgan for having her a ferry knight in the first place. You don't have to tell me, I'm painfully aware of that. But we are still sworn loyalty to the High Queen. We can't be party to any of that nonsense. Right, sorry about that. It just slipped out. So, what about my payment? Very well, go on, pay him. He may have lost his standing, but Bogart is still a powerful leader from the Fang clan. He can easily defeat 1,000 ferries on his own. Send word to Camelot to have Lady Gawain dispatched here on the double. What about the Child of Prophecy? I'm pretty sure intel that valuable's worth something. Ha, that's a good one. They just captured another Child of Prophecy yesterday. This new one isn't even... O Muramasi mówią. This new one isn't even worth looking into. I'm sure Bogart just made it up. Oh, I wouldn't be too quick to dismiss it, officer. That ferry there was telling the truth. I especially enjoyed the description of this Child of Prophecy. How did it go again? Black iron armor, a huge shield, appears to be a girl of about 16, and a black iron cylinder that made you uneasy just to look at. I have definitely got my attention now, brother. Please tell me more. What's this girl's name? You do know her name, right? Honestly, I found it strange how you avoided mentioning just that part, even though you are here to sell us intel. I mean, don't you think it's suspicious? It almost makes me think you are not telling us on purpose. If that's how it sounded to you, sorry, but you are wrong. I didn't say it cause I don't know it. Now if you are not gonna pay me anymore, I will just be on my way. I want to get back to the south by tomorrow. Hey now, why the rush? You came all this way after all? Come on, chat a spell with us. Don't worry, Winky, I'm sure it will all come back to you soon enough. It's written all over your face. Wales. To o was. trudno nie zauważyć, że przy każdym z tych nazw jest dopisana 1. Coś mi się nie wydaje, żeby 2 się zdążyła wydarzyć jeszcze w tym parcie, więc strzelam, że to jest rozdział na party. How long until we get to Wales? Well, we are taking the scenic road instead of the main road, so as not to stand out. So at this pace, I'd say we will get there tonight, as long as we don't run into any trouble. Zostawili w ogóle za sobą wątek o tym, że pieniądze Oberona są tak trochę lipne. Is something wrong, Artoria? You've been weirdly quiet for a while now. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to make Marcisław nervous, but I've been getting a really bad feeling like someone's been watching us all this time. I also get the feeling the carriage is going to flip over in about 5 seconds. Haha, don't be silly, I'm Red Rabbit. The most elegant wind-like fairy horse around. I would never let a carriage I was drawing tip over, especially with passengers since... What the snoot? What the snort? What is it? Are we under attack? Everyone get out of the carriage. Hang on, we aren't under attack. The carriage just ran over something, is all. What happened, the red horse? Are the roads that butt out here? No, it's just... I'm sorry, I was just writing a poem while gazing up at the sky. And I didn't notice the large number of ferries collapsed on the road until it was too late. This is incredible, it's awful, it's incredible. There are 1, 2, 3, 6 of them blocking our way. We are alive. We are alive. We are still alive. Please help us. Our cargo just began acting up and attacked us out of nowhere. Hiho. We are not hurt too badly, to są Jack Frosty. In fact, we probably look completely fine. But the cargo took one of us away, down past that hill to that isolated cave no one would ever see unless they were looking for it. Please, you've gotta save him. You nice suckers, I mean people wouldn't turn your backs on a ferry in need, right? Wow, ale mają chujową grę aktorską. Oh yeah, not suspicious at all. That hill over there? Got it. Come on everyone, we need to hurry before it's too late. A nie lepiej byłoby najpierw tych związać, a potem pójść? Wait, seriously? There's a fine line between being nice and being gullible, you know? You know, I'm actually kinda impressed she's managed to survive this long. Watch the carriage, Oberon. No problem, good luck over there. Oberon, stay. Up to 3 servants can be set in this quest. Co? Jak to działa? Co ten tekst oznacza? Nieważne.
ダヴィンチちゃん参上。今日も元気に始めちゃおう。
あ。NFF Cat, NFF Lizard, Slave Giant. I wszystko ma tatuaże NFF. O, Muramasa jest wymaksowany. Czy co? Stakują się Invulpirse? Ignore Invincible one turn. Ignore Invincible 3 turns. A to ciekawe, nie wiedziałem, że tak to działa. Myślałem, że tak jak w większości takich skilli jest no effect. Czyli nie jest. A on ma specjalne skille, alter ego, bo on tu jest jako alter ego. He.
任せて。
神髄解明完成理念収束鍛造技法臨界メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。
Nie dostał w ogóle w pierdolu. Ten giont.
ああ、とても楽しかったとも。黄金律にも種類があるのさ。このアングルバッチリ。私、お、ふむふむ。駆け抜ける前人未到。未完の馬よ、輝ける轍を残せ。ああ、人生はとても楽しい。ビューティフルジャーニー。せーの、いくよいくよ。うてうて。
Something's not quite right.
やだな。私の方で望まれることを望まれたように。どんな嵐であろうとも、どんな未来が待とうとも、これを突破するのが私たちの課題なのさ。ボンビアージュ、また会おう諸君。
そこに至るはあまたの研鑽。気づきに気づいた刀塚。縁起をもって宿業を断つ。八重垣作るは戦時の刃。散った成仏していきな。
Jak to coś zabić?
あれはいつか見た終わりの星。多くの言葉、わずかなきらめき。どれほど遠く汚れても私は星を探すのです。さあ幕を開けてアラウンドカリバーン。
O. Now I get it.
オッケー。ふむふむ。
先に行く。
いくよ。降り注ぎます。
あ、切るぜ。やべえな。てめえとは距離が合わねえよ。
Fuck.
やることは変わらねえよ。
戦いですか。
Problem.
このアングルバッチリ。発進準備完了だ。ふむふむ。
切るぜ。
そう、君たちはあらゆる困難を乗り越える。その勝査を今示そう。ビューティフルジャーニー。さあ行けるとこまで行ってみよう。行くよ。
Okej, nieważne.
小さくてもやるときはやるものさ。人間ってそういうものだろ。
Hiho, I don't know what I would have done if you guys hadn't come along. It's the last time I go shopping in Gloucester. I should have known that the bargain set was too good to be true. You mean he actually was in trouble? I guess so. Now I feel bad for not giving those fairy a fair shake, no matter how suspect they seemed at first. Heh. Are you alright? There aren't any other fairies who were taken away, are there? Nope, it's just the 7 of us. No 8 fairy around here. I gotta say though, you guys sure are strong, and by you guys, I mean the redhead. You on the other hand were crazy out there in a whole different sense of the word, lady. You were throwing out so many explosions, I thought you were gonna blow me up along with our escort. Next time you ought to take a page from the young Mrs. Playbook. She threw a bunch of stuff at the cargo too, but she never hit me once. Going wild's all well and good, but you've gotta be aware of your surroundings too, especially when there's a hostage involved. Anyone else would be sissing a lawyer on you right about now. Sicking? A lawyer on you right about now, you know? I know, you're right. I'm doing my best to overcome my clumsiness, so I hope you can be patient while I work to improve. Please be patient, I have autism. You bet, I'm rooting for you, lady. At least you've got guts, and that counts for a lot. So, if you are feeling alright now, would you mind if we get going? Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. No need to thank us. It seems like it would be way more trouble than it's worth. You sure? Now that I made you help us out, I thought I'd take it easy by sticking with you guys the rest of the way. But alright, besides, we've got to head home and report to the boss that we are done taking out the trash. And here I thought we could rely on those escorts we bought. Thank goodness you guys came along to help us out. Thanks, gullible looking lady. You are taking out the trash? You mean to Camelot's pit? I thought soldiers were supposed to be escorts for that, since more tend to show up near the pit. We could have gone with soldiers, but they say they don't have time for escort missions these days. That's why we got escorts from a beautiful lady in Gloucester instead. She said we could have them cheap since she couldn't get the fine-tuning right. What's this trash about? You mean you don't know, human kid? I guess you must have just gotten out of a ranch recently, huh? Luckily no more showed up near the pit. Guess they are all gathering around Norwich now. Man, sometimes I really worry what's gonna happen to Fairy Britain. Between Gawain, the Fang clan's biggest troublemaker, and Tristan, the Queen's pet psycho, the only decent fairy knight of the bunch is Lady Lancelot. Maybe I should make a break for the north. Nah, what am I saying? I could never do that. We are the Seven Merry Brothers, Lady Aurora's faithful servants. Hee-ho, that's... It's back to work we go. Ile było tych krasnoludków? Nieważne. Thanks again for everything, you guys. You watch out for the Moors too, you hear? I see. For the record, it's not my fault we didn't get there today. It's all on Artoria for dragging us into yet another rescue. You do all understand that, right? Also, do you naturally attract trouble, Marcisław? Are you just unlucky like that? Now that you mention it... This did help me get my bearings in terms of using my blade and all. Fairy Britain isn't like the other Lostbelts I've seen so far. I finally figured out how tough my blade needs to be. Your magecraft ain't half bad either, Artoria. I got no idea why fairies here say your skills ain't worth much, but I do know they are a great fit for me. Jak wyszedł Muramasa, się mówiło, że Hechun jego kit brzmi, jakby był przygotowany specjalnie pod Artorię. My scabbard's feeling smoother than ever with you around. Glad you are on my side. Thank you. Same here. I see. Unlike fairy soldiers, Muramasa doesn't just use his own magical energy to fight. He also uses external enchantments as naturally as though they were part of his own body. True, Muramasa's fighting skills are definitely a cut above the rest. You said he's an alter ego, right? Does that mean he's not a pure servant? Well, is it okay if we tell this story, Muramasa? Sure, go ahead. Now's as good a time as any, Marcisław. Besides, I don't need anyone coming to me later complaining about how I was secretly a bad guy all along, or how could I betray their trust, yada yada. Well, it's a long story, but here goes. So, is a servant mixture this foreign god made? And he's actually been fighting along Marcisław and Kaldia up until now? Against. Basically, especially in Olympus when he pulled off something really crazy right at the end. In fact, Muramasa, that reminds me, you were strong enough to cut Atlas's spirit origin in half. Yet you failed to assassinate Queen Morgan and some other fairy handed your ass to you. Can you explain to me how that works? Because I don't get it. Nothing special to it, just an alter ego optimized for killing gods. And that's only cause the foreign god imbued me with divine spirits who are good at that sort of thing. Apparently one of them's a blind god of war who was responsible for Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. Blind god of war? Czy był ślepy? Nie pamiętam. The others, well, kind of a wish fulfillment of mine, don't ask. My point is, I'm not exceptionally strong or anything, I just don't have to use magical energy to kill gods. So Olympus was perfect for me, and Scandinavia, well, Scandinavia would have been rough. You can figure out why. Skasachskadi, I think she was called. If this alter ego version of me had met her, I might have flown into a genuine rage. I know the blind god of war could have had words to say about her of all gods being fooled. Anyway, there you have it. I'm pretty useful when I'm up against divine spirits or in worlds where divine spirits are calling the shots. So if you are strong against gods, that must also mean... Now I see, I had a feeling this was the case, but you just helped me clarify it, Muramasa. The land of the Fae has no concept of religion, which means... Yep, there are no gods in Britain. Though I've no idea how this world ended up like that. It's damned peculiar. The whole world is ruled by fairies, but there ain't a trace of gods, the greatest mystics ever anywhere. Well, that only makes sense, don't you think? I mean, it's only humans who desire gods. Fairies can do anything they want on their own, so they don't have to rely on a higher power for help. So of course their society isn't going to think up gods. You know, that is a good point. I will have to write all this down later in my next message to Chaldea. I wonder what Holmes is gonna have to say about it. I don't know much about these god things either, so I can't speak to that. But you are still Marcisław's enemy, right? I'm glad you are here helping us now, but are you really comfortable working alongside your enemy? You don't have to worry about that, Artoria. It's like I told you back in Gloucester. Now that you have saved me, I'm gonna stick with you, Child of Prophecy. It's easier for me that way. I ain't usually one to find fault with my own work, but at least this one's a job I can finally get behind. So we are not fully on board with the foreign god's job then? Are you freaking kidding me? Hell no, them things are a pain in the ass. Even now I still have no idea what the hell the foreign god even is. She just summoned me without asking, mixed some divine spirits into me without asking, and forced a bunch of work I never asked to be a part of on me. I've always been a maker of weapons, so I know my hands weren't the cleanest to begin with. But at least when I was alive, I could swear to the Buddha that I never went down the wrong path. Of course, now that I've got some other things mixed in with me, I don't have a right or a wrong path anymore. So if nothing else, I'm gonna make sure I do good work. On any job I take on, it's the least I can do as Muramasa. That's very you. Yep, least I would be if I was still my original heroic spirit. That ain't exactly the case now, but I can still be fairly useful. I see, in that case we will be happy to work with you. We could use all the help we can get now, especially from a heroic spirit we are already acquainted with. Once again, even if it's only in this Lostbelt, I'm glad we are on the same side, Senji Muramasa. Thanks, since I'm setting the price for this job myself, I will be helping out any way I can. Anyway, on a different note, I don't really wanna ask this, but as much as I disliked the guy, he was still a colleague, so... How did Limbo's final moments go? in pieces. He kicked and screamed until the end. I see. Alright, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that and just go to bed. Is anyone awake? They are not, are they? No, they are all sleeping soundly. I will take that as a good sign. I'm pretty sleepy too, but I have to stand guard. No shady looking things nearby, check. No more nearby, check. Don't you worry everyone, I will make sure. Artoria stays safe. Okej, kto to był? O, ej. Normalny chapter ma tylko 4 Ma tylko 4 strzałeczki. Zupełnie jakby Nasu go nie pisał. Class caster. Mógłbym tam w tył wepchnąć Musashi. Cały czas jej nie wylewelowałem bonda. We are here. Welcome to my domain, the autumn woods of Wales. I can see where it gets its name. Warm-colored leaves everywhere. To shit, robale. Is Lord Oberon everyone? Come quick. Lord Oberon has returned. Wow. To są litery, które nie mają większego sensu, bo są dokładnie takie same przy obu linijkach, a są dwie różne rzeczy napisane. Please, Lord Oberon, please tell us all about what you saw outside. Aha. Dokładnie to samo. Co, nie myśleli, że się nie zczaje? Thank you for the warm welcome, everyone. As you can see, I've brought guests with me today. This is Marcisław. He watches over things just like I do. This is Da Vinci, the cutest genius you will ever meet. This is Muramasa, who will probably be kind enough to make us all sorts of useful things. And this is Artoria, the child of prophecy. See, I told you the child of prophecy would be willing to come all the way to this isolated neck of the woods. Now, do you believe I was telling the truth? What do I do, Oberon? You don't have to do anything, they are just glad you are here. Oh, but don't try to hug them, no matter how cute they are. They are not used to being touched, especially by outside fairies. These fairies are straight out of a picture book. Now this is what I imagine the land of fairies would be like. Come on, fairies are fairies, right? I don't see anything special about... Please make me a helmet. I wanna be a soldier. A soldier. Well, I guess they are a little different. I can't tell what it's saying, but... What is it, little guy? You want a helmet that fits you? Yeah, alright. Anything made for humans obviously won't fit you at all. Hey, Oberon, mind if I set up a workbench somewhere? Be my guest? Oh, but just stick to leaves and twigs for your materials, if you don't mind. They don't actually want to be soldiers, they just want to play pretend. I got it, don't worry, I'm not gonna make anything real. What about you? Who are you? Are you Oberon's friend? A real friend? Oberon has a friend? Then that makes you our friend too. Please help him. Please help Oberon. I can tell they are friendly, but that's all I can tell. They are welcoming all of you here. None of the fairies who end up in these woods understand suspicion. There are no imitations of human society here, but we can at least put you up in tents. Why don't you all kick back and relax while I go see what's happening outside? I'm counting on all of you to take care of our guests, okay? Don't worry, these people are all nice. None of them are going to hurt you. Okay everyone, ta-ta for now. I will be back tonight, so make sure to save some dinner for me. Huh? Hang on, Oberon, at least tell us how we can understand what they are saying. And he's gone. I mean, at least we can tell these fairies are being welcoming to us, but... Indeed, I have no idea what these Welsh fairies are saying either. I also noticed Lord Oberon didn't bother to introduce me. That hurts, honestly. I wonder why. Is he just absent-minded? Oh crap, I forgot he was here too. Okej, to może być pewien rodzaj problemu z tłumaczeniem. Może one po prostu powtarzają 2 razy to samo, tylko jest to tak rozdzielone dla estetyki. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? If you are like Lord Oberon, you must get hungry too, right? He gets? We will feed you, we will feed you. Welsh chestnuts are yummy yummy. They say they are going to feed us, and with chestnuts no less. That's amazing. Talk about a forbidden treat. You can almost never find sweets in the south thanks to the restrictions, but here we have a loophole. Forbidden. Oh yeah, Mike said that only upper-class fairies have access to confectionaries. Apparently the Queen forbade processing fruits and such, so sugar is hard to come by here. Lady Aurora once gave me a bite of some kind of dark-colored bar, but honestly I preferred carrots. They have much more natural sweetness. This way, this way. Tell us about Oberon, tell us about Oberon. Looks like the dining table's over that way. I still can't tell what they are saying, but if they are going to treat us, who are we to say no? Good point. That meal was delicious. What she said. It sure was. Those were the most gorgeous grapes I've ever seen by far. And not only that, these fairies even have mystics in them. That was a great way for servants to recover magical energy. Maybe I should take a few with us for the road, or send some to Holmes as a souvenir? Eating pears in a single bite. There's still an extra plate left out. Is that for Oberon? Should we leave it for him? They are here. The black dogs are here. Run, hide. You snooze, you lose. Huh? That's weird. Why would they all run up trees and hide in hollows all of a sudden? I see some black dogs over there, so they are probably trying to hide. Oh my gosh, come on, we have to get rid of them. It's the least we can do to pay them back for this feast. I was just thinking the same thing. The black dogs are terrifying, but these poor fairies have no way of fighting back. Well, we are not going to let anything happen to them now that we are here. Come on everyone, let's show these dogs they are no match for a hare. Are you sure you are not actually a servant?
Oh, 容赦しないけど、ごめんね。戦いですか。おいで。みんなおいで。みんなよろしくね。蹴散らしなさい。あわん、いいよ。シロ、お願い。よいしょっと。私の中の女神たち、力を貸して。おふたてしけ、お気分で。
A, tego jest więcej.
やっちゃうね。
妖精が何だってんだ。さて。折れんなよ。
W sumie.
白兵戦行きます。
櫛灘姫をあの辺りか。
Kusinada Hime?
そこに至るはあまたの研鑽。 気づきに気づいた刀塚、縁起をもって宿命を断つ、八重垣作るは戦時の刃、知った成仏していきな。
Czy Nada jest córką Futsunushiego?
いいぜ、これでやる。
A, no tak. I żoną Susaną. O, jakie śmieszne.
Kusinada姫を髪に刺し、折れんなよ。Kusinada姫を髪に刺し、切る、先に行く。そこに至るはあまたの研鑽、気づきに気づいた刀塚、縁起をもって宿業を断つ、八重垣作るは戦時の刃、知った成仏していきな。おら、濡れてやるよ。てめえとは反りが合わねえよ。
Kurde.
慌てん蹴散らす。いいよ。
Trochę zabraknie.
お願い。よいしょっと。私の中の女神たち、力を貸して。お、立てしけ。お気分け。 今のうちに準備を。望まれることを望まれたように。それはいつか来る兆しの星、希望の地、楽園の後、誰に呼ばれるまでもなく、あなたは星をかざすでしょう。運命は誰のために。アラウンドカリバーン。
神髄解明、完成理念収束、鍛造技法臨界、メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。
今回はうまくいきました。
No, fioletowa kokaina. Oh, what was that incredibly powerful enemy doing mixed in with the black dogs? Probably just some fairy they beat who went mad from the excruciating pain. Are those different from the Moors? Yes, fairies become Moors when they lose their purpose and shine. That is, when their lives become meaningless. And when they are infected with meaninglessness by touching other Moors. But fairies who become so focused on their purpose that they lose sight of themselves produce endless magical energy, to the point that they are no longer able to maintain their forms. I guess you could say they are fairies gone bad. That's what happened to those fairies in the Nameless Woods. They were so happy to have a human that they couldn't keep their desires in check anymore, and ended up killing their own friends. They did it, they won! Bortegan, co? Oberon's gonna be so sad, Oberon's gonna be so happy. He has good friends now. Well, if the fairies are happy, we must have done a good thing driving those creatures away. Well, if the fairies are happy, we must have done a good thing driving those creatures away. No. Zabawne to tutaj imię takie podobne do czegoś. Alright, since it looks like we are going to be staying here for at least a few days, why don't we set up camp? Especially since there's no point in worrying about what's going on outside now that we are here. So let's just relax and recuperate while we wait for Oberon to get back. After dinner. You know, there's something I've been wondering about for a while now. How do fairy families work? I saw plenty of siblings in Salisbury, but I didn't see anyone who looked like parent and child. Well, of course you didn't. Fairies come into existence independently of anyone else. The only siblings we have are when multiple fairies with similar attributes decide to call each other that, or when they've all decided to stick together from the time they manifest. Like the 7 fairies we saw yesterday. That's just how fairies live their lives. Okay, then what about children? They say Fairy Knight Tristan is supposed to be Morgan's daughter, right? So how does that work? Tristan, Morgan's daughter. Good one. No, that just means she's the queen's successor. I guess in human terms we'd say that Queen Morgan adopted Tristan. The only children in the fairy world are the next versions of you born after you die. Let's see, okay, for example, let's say we have Spinner Fairy A here. Spinner Fairy A lives for 100 years, then goes to sleep having fulfilled their purpose. But that doesn't mean the spinner profession or that fairy's way of life disappeared from Britain. So right after Spinner Fairy A dies, Spinner Fairy B is born. Fairies refer to this relationship as predecessor and current generation. I see, so then does the current generation inherit anything from their predecessor? Things like genes, lineage, records, names, or some other kind of property a human would pass on to their kids? Not really. Like I said, fairies are born on their own, so they don't have any connections like that. That goes for predecessors and current generation fairies too. Powerful fairies can hold on to their records, memories may be better here, but in general the next generation is a completely blank slate. However, since the current generation has the same role, their abilities and appearance do resemble their predecessors to some extent. That's how the Spinner Fairy knows they are a Spinner Fairy, no matter where or when they are born. There are also times when a fairy who resembles the current generation is born while the current generation is still alive. It's rare, but when it does happen, the new fairy are treated as the current generation's son or daughter. Czyli może się wydarzyć. This is also why fairies who use magecraft are sometimes referred to as Morgan's daughters. Here in Britain, Queen Morgan used to be the only one who used magecraft. But now we have Tristan, who was given magecraft and named her successor. And Artoria, who was born using it. From the fairy's perspective, both are of the same type as the queen, hence Morgan's daughters. I see, so that's why that fairy knight hates the child of prophecy so much. Because the rumor is that she's Queen Morgan's daughter. Not exactly, Artoria. It's not using magecraft that makes you Morgan's daughter. It's that fairies who use magecraft can become Fairy Britain's king. At least I think so. That's the whole reason Morgan gave Tristan magecraft. It's her way of saying, you will be the next king, rule over Britain as you see fit. I expect that was her way of trying to derail the prophecy to make sure the child of prophecy wouldn't take her throne. But then you and your natural magecraft show up, and now Morgan, or rather Tristan, is all what's the real one doing here? That's probably why she went to pieces at the auction house. She couldn't handle the terror. You think so? I didn't think I was scaring her that much. I do, yes. Anyway, a confrontation with Tristan is pretty much inevitable. But don't worry, just relax and take it one step at a time. The fact that you use magecraft proves you are the child of prophecy and that you are destined to defeat the Queen. No matter how powerful Morgan may be or how formidable the Fairy Knight are, as long as you are the child of prophecy, you will be Britain's savior. Just do what needs to be done and the prophecy will be fulfilled. We are just here to help you. As long as you are around, Britain can, and more importantly, will be saved. Even if some of us end up dropping out along the way. It's no use, I can't sleep. A są też te czarne światełka. Too much on your mind to sleep? Well, there's no need to stand here. Here, have a seat. I saw you when I was heading out to gather intel. Mind if I sit next to you? Great, don't mind if I do then. Say, here's an idea. Maybe you'd feel better if you told me your story so far? I'm sure you have a lot to say about everything you've seen and done before you came here. I see, so that's the journey you, Chaldea, has been on. Earth's future, humanity's existence, your survivor's guilt over the other Lostbelts you've been to. No wonder you can't sleep, especially given what you told me earlier. You're feeling guilty about the child of prophecy. Or maybe it's not guilt so much as alienation. Artoria is about to spill a lot of blood, but that has nothing to do with you. That's been your role up till now, and you have kept fighting even when it was hard. But you never had a choice, did you? Responsibility for it all rested entirely on your shoulders. Złe wieści. But you never had a choice, did you? Responsibility for it all rested entirely on your shoulders. Not here, though. Here you have to put it all on Artoria's shoulders. And now you don't know what to do with these feelings. You might even be feeling like a coward here, since you can't forget that you have no intention of saving Fairy Britain. You may be right. You are more concerned about finding your lost companion. If something happened to Mash, you could never forgive yourself, right? Surprised I can tell that? You're trying not to let it show, of course, but I can still see. But look at it this way. Let's say, hypothetically, Mash were to go out into town alone and die in an accident. Would that be your fault? Is keeping her safe from all harm all the time your responsibility 24/7? No, of course not. That's not concern for a friend. That's more of a savior complex. Mash is her own person, and people are responsible for their own lives and choices. If you really respect her as an equal, then you should be trusting her, not worrying about her. Tak, ale ona nie zniknęła z własnej woli, ona się zgubiła. Piling more responsibility on your shoulders isn't going to help anyone, especially if you are so weighed down you can't act quickly when you really need to. Still, based on what you have told me of your journey so far, it sounds like your heart doesn't have anywhere else left to go. I'm pretty sure you used to be a lot lighter on your feet. The kind of person who lived his life how he wanted, am I wrong? What do you mean? Well, I can tell you what I don't mean. I don't mean just doing whatever's easiest. I'd say living life how you like means finding what suits you. Finding what it is you want more than anything. And fighting for it as hard as you can, come what may. That's how you were during the incineration of humanity. Not that I was there to witness it, obviously. My point is, you and I are a lot alike. I'm guessing we both have the same role to play here in Britain. We are bystanders. As much as we hate it, we are no more the protagonist of this story than I am. Just like Oberon the Fairy King wasn't the protagonist of a Midsummer Night's Dream. All we can do here is watch to see how things play out. Even in battle, we can't do anything more than offer support from the rear. But that doesn't mean you need to beat yourself up. At some point before this all ends, there will come a moment you have a crucial role to play. A time when no one else is around and you will have a chance to change how everything unfolds. Sounds great, doesn't it? So for now, I suggest you swallow that worry, get some rest and look forward to what's yet to come. So what if you are just a bystander? Even spectators have their pride after all. So bide your time, wait for your moment and do something spectacular at the very end that not even the gods could have seen coming. Just imagine how good it's gonna feel when you finally wipe the smirk off the smug face of fate itself. I don't know what that even means, but it's very you, Oberon. Thanks for cheering me up. What's so strange about it? That's how I've lived my whole life. Marcisław? There aren't many people out there who can explain everything about themselves. It's not like we are predictable tools that come with instruction manuals. We are living analog creatures, fuzzy around the edges. That said, everyone has at least one thing they like about themselves, right? It's kind of embarrassing to say this out loud, but at least in this example I don't think I'm a coward, and of course you aren't either. Oh, sorry about that, Blanca. I didn't realize I'd been talking so long. Let's go look for intel in Manchester tonight. It's about time we started investigating up north. Alright, I'd better get going then. I'll see you tomorrow night. I don't want to be the only one left out of the dinner fun after all. Wait. Huh? What is it you want, Oberon? I want to see the world burn. To defeat Morgan, of course. I might not be a fighter myself, but that is why I was summoned here. You are not talking about for humanity's sake or anything like that? Oh, now I see. Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but I guess I can't dodge the question after the big speech I just gave. I'm looking for Titania. Remember? Oberon's queen from A Midsummer Night's Dream? Titania the Fairy Queen, the only one that ever loved obstinate Oberon. I'm hoping to see her if I can. Though of course I know that's impossible. Titania's a fictional character. She doesn't exist in proper human history. She can only ever exist within the confines of a story. Nie to, że to było problemem dla niektórych postaci. Mamy dobre tempo. Zaraz będzie 7. sekcja, czyli jeszcze tylko 3. Nie podoba mi się ten line-up. A.
キラキラしてる。
さて人馬一体。
Increase your critical hit rate at end of each turn.
白兵戦行きます。
Murder Muramasafo.
いや、もちろん。ここでまっすぐセクエンス。なんだ、覚悟しろ。せーの。
調子は悪くねえな。
やだな。戦いですか。
あいつやれやれ。直視し俺の前に立つんじゃない。
だまだ。
浮世は終わりだし先に行ってる。
妖精がなんだってんだ。
せーの。
やることは変わらねえよ。
やれやれ、なんだ。直視。シン、俺の前に立つんじゃない。
まだまだ。
浮世は終わりだけど先に行って
行くよ。
Oni coś mają do artorii. Klas adwentarz. Mogłem najpierw pozbyć się Redhera.
動輪の神髄お見せしましょう。強敵に切らない。
あいつ
南天満台自在天地見よう栗から昇天書行くぞ剣豪バット医者の大天将。
痛い痛い。
なんの
黄金律にも種類があるのさ。
Breaking news. Local Da Vinci goes u.
量産ですもの。節約節約。
Nie mogę jej dać tego jednego skilla. Może to przeżyjemy.
いいぜ。やればいいんだよ。よーし、そこ狙うからね。バリバリ呪うぞ。
なんだあいつ。直視。シン、俺の前に立つんじゃない。
引かぬ。
浮世は終わりだけど先に行ってる。
あとは切るなり焼くなり、私の自由ですね。
Z czego to poleciało? A, z Muramasy. Oh, this was supposed to be a light practice bout, Muramasa. Why are you taking it so seriously? Are you a child or something? No, I'm an old man. It's my job to make sure youngsters like you get a proper education at the School of Hard Knocks. That doesn't go for Marcisław though. He seems like he's had more than his share of hardships. I gotta admit, Marcisław, those quick combat summons of yours are really something. Makes me think I'd be better off keeping you safe instead of mixing it up myself. If you play your cards right, you might even be able to beat the Fairy Knights. You really think so? You bet. If you throw all the servants and magical energy you've got at them, you can definitely take them, ale wtedy też umrę. You said one of them trounced you before, then next time it will be your turn. Just make sure you've got a good victory line locked and loaded. Something like, I ain't afraid of no Fairy Knights. Nie brzmi jakoś specjalnie. Your weapons are made of iron, right, Muramasa? Could you let me have some of the material? Sorry, but I'm the only one who can work that. It's basically an advance I'm paying for. It's basically an advance I'm paying for with magical energy. If you want to use them for yourself, I'd have to make something for you from scratch. And that means we'd have to get some iron from a mine. I think it was Norwich that controls the iron supply around here, right? I see, then I guess I will just have to track some down somewhere. And after I came up with a plan to defeat Gawain too. Oh, am I seeing a mean streak in those eyes, girlie? If you got something devious in mind, I'm game to help. No thank you. Just keep laughing it up with Marcisław and leave me alone, old-timer. Looks like someone's going through a rebellious phase. Or maybe she's just like that? I'm guessing she's actually just really competitive. No to jest w sumie prawda. Coś, o czym ludzie zapominają. I'm guessing she's just jealous of our resident grandpa paying attention to me. No, I'm not. I'm just being the child of prophecy. If there's no getting around that, then I might as well start taking it seriously. Start taking it seriously? Come on, you've always taken it seriously. No one here's ever thought otherwise. Oh, I see. You are worried about what Oberon said about you having to confront that very night eventually. I mean, that's definitely part of it too, but I just figured I can't just sit on the fence forever. The whole idea of making a pilgrimage around Britain and ringing the bell still doesn't quite feel right to me. But the fairies we've met so far, including the ones in Gloucester, all had such high hopes for me. And of course my whole village of Tintagel believed in me enough to raise me and send me out on this pilgrimage in the first place. I'm still worried I might not be able to live up to everyone's expectations, but I thought for the time being I could at least try being proud of being the child of prophecy. Like they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? I mean, I still don't have any specific ventures in mind, but... You know, girlie, for the life of me, I can't tell if you are full of spirit or a shrinking violet. Co? I can't keep wavering forever either. Marcisław? I've made up my mind, Artoria. I'm going to help you no matter what Chaldea has to say. But what about Mash? I thought we were only traveling together until we found Mash. Of course, we are still going to look for Mash. I'm not stopping till I find her. I just want to help the child of prophecy on top of that. Good point, Marcisław. We haven't made our position very clear here, have we? Finding Mash is definitely our top priority, but that doesn't mean we can just leave Britain to fend for itself. So we want to keep traveling with you not just so we can find Mash, but so that we can help Britain too. Now that we've made friends here, we want to go we went to do everything we can to help them so we can go back to our own home with no regrets. Does that about sum it up, Marcisław? Yep, I'm sure Director Gordolf won't be happy about this, but... Sounds good to me, and I'm sure Gordy would give in eventually if he was here too. So it's not just Muramasa anymore? You're saying you and Da Vinci are going to join me on my pilgrimage too, Marcisław? Yep, and I'm sure Oberona would say the same thing, don't worry. We expect to be generously compensated once we've all saved the day. Chcemy Rongo Miniado. So how does that sound, future king? Of course, if you'd rather not have us hanging around, we can always go our separate ways. No, not at all. This is great, I never dreamed I could ever have this kind of help. I guess this is the Child of Prophecy's first proper alliance. Now I'm kind of starting to feel like a king. Yay. Well, you really are a king, so... Of course, none of this changes the fact that we still don't have any kind of plan. It's great that you are feeling motivated about being the Child of Prophecy now and all, but what do we actually do about it? Way to bring me crashing back down to reality. Couldn't you let me be happy just for a little while, Muramasa? That's your entire problem right there. Well, as the resident old man here, I kind of have to be a party pooper, right? I heard the whole thing, and I think I have an idea. It's Oberon. It's a little earlier than I'd planned, but the time is clearly right. I will tell you where the Child of Prophecy and you, her companions, need to go next. The crossroads of destiny where the Child of Prophecy's rumors shall become reality. That's right, it's time for us to go save Norwich. I can hear him, but I can't see him. Is that really you, Oberon? Huh? What do you mean, you can't see me? Oh right, of course. Down here, everyone. Nie wiedziałem, że to coś jest w grze. Phew, flying a long distance sure takes a lot out of you, but there's no substitute for seeing things for yourself. Alright, you guys haven't seen me like this before, have you? I'm the stylish little speedster who races around Britain on a Sphinx Moth at Mach speed. That's right, I'm Ryder Oberon, sometimes known as Robin Goodfellow, and the pint-sized Fairy King. Muszę temu zrobić zdjęcie dla potomnych. Wydrukuję sobie, postawię gdzieś na półce. How did you get so small? O cholera, to już koniec 6. sekcja? Jeszcze 3 sekcje. Co jest urwał? Dlatego 7 to jest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ale czemu ja w ogóle cokolwiek mówię? Z tego co słyszałem, 9 ma 9 strzałeczków. W następnym chapterze to nie wiem, będą chyba musieli wymyślić, że zamiast strzałeczek będzie narysowana strzałeczka i obok niej będzie 1 z 20. Jest Sheffield 2. Czyli będą jednak możliwe. Fragment 7. Section 7. Fragment. Sheffield 2. Heavy footsteps echo across the northern plains. The Queen's army is on the move. A military flag depicting black flames and a mighty fortress flaps at the forefront. At the forefront of the army marching on Sheffield. Fairy Knight Gawain leads the army. Her objective is not to snuff out the sparks of rebellion, nor to negotiate with Bogart. Beryl Gat, who was named the Queen's proxy only yesterday, flashes a wicked grin. This all occurred one day before Sheffield was wiped off the map. Dzięki za spoiler. Aren't you going to rest, Lord Bogart? If there's something on your mind, I'd be happy to listen. You can't even pour me a glass of You can't even pour me a glass of wine? You really are a poor excuse for a wife, aren't you? Well, that's alright. I can't appreciate alcohol anyway. In fact, I don't understand why humans cook their food at all. Cutting, slicing, roasting, frying, seasoning. It all seems like a waste of time and a good meal to me. The Fang clan doesn't need to act more human, and it certainly doesn't need restaurants. Did you know that Oxford is practically full to bursting with restaurants these days? Everywhere you go, there's a Woodwoods on every corner. It's a sick joke, is what it is. Can you even imagine if all the shops on Sheffield's main street were nothing but restaurants? It would be so absurd no one would even know how to react. Yes, that's true, it would be a funny sight. Yes, if nothing else, those restaurants are good for a laugh. It would be fun to show you one. Never mind, I don't know why I said that. So, Child of Prophecy, I'm told you have been defeating Morse on behalf of the townspeople. I also know you have been seen fighting while wearing that armor of yours, even after I told you not to draw attention. Yes, I have, I'm sorry, Lord Bogart, I guess I'm just not fit to be your wife. Of course you aren't, you fool, you never were. And yet, even though you are capable of beating Morse, you are afraid of you wielding a weapon. You never came back for that iron cylinder. Those merchants told me they found you and the cylinder together, and yet you have never even mentioned it. It's almost as though you would prefer to forget about it entirely. That cylinder rivals Morgan's sacred lance. Why would you run from such incredible firepower? I don't know, it's just something about that thing feels like it could hurt everyone. Like it could even hurt all of Britain, and that scares me. No, we are not afraid of that cylinder. You're afraid of fighting itself. Never mind. Even if I did know your true feelings, I doubt I would understand them. All that matters are your records and accomplishments. Have you still not regained your memories? I don't think if it's your calling, but I have no doubt that you are a knight. One who has been fighting a long time. And yet I've never seen you in the Queen's army before, nor here I heard of a new fairy knight being appointed. In fact, I've never seen a fairy that looks like you anywhere. Where did you come from? Are you actually the child of prophecy who will save all of Britain? If you are, then you will be forced to fight wherever you go, for the child of prophecy's pilgrimage leads down a road of blood and war. Do you truly have what it takes? Can you not only defeat the Queen, but also unify the 6 clans and maintain your rule over them? I don't. Of course you can't. You simply aren't made for that, even if you were to regain your memories. Fairies are meant to live their lives how they like, in accordance with their purpose. Why would you force yourself to go through with something you don't desire? No, it's like I thought. Not thought, no. You aren't the child of prophecy, you are no more than an imitation, a lost little lamb. I've been fighting for a long time, I've been fighting the Moors since I was born. Fighting the Moors has always fallen to the Fang clan. It only made sense, we are the strongest clan in Britain. And Woodwose and I were the strongest of all the Fang clan. The two of us alone have saved Britain from the Moors countless times. It was those accomplishments that led to Woodwose being named Lord of Oxford and I Norwich. Yes, I remember, you told me before that you were once the Lord of Norwich. But you never told me how you ended up in Sheffield. A man named Capless put one over on me. He's taken over the Spriggan name now. But never mind that scumbag, it's nothing you need to hear about. You know about the Caterpillar War of 200 years ago, yes? It was the only war that made the Queen scream like a flesh and blood woman. Heh, I never would have guessed that accursed Morgan would be so afraid of insects. To stąd się wzięło. At any rate, during that war, Morgan the name Gawain and made her a knight. No one can perceive name anymore. The Queen changed it so that Gawain became her true name. Now no one can call her by her original fairy name until she is defeated. what was hate and claimed she was the daughter of the detestable Black Dogs, but I always admired their sheer strength. In fact, I am part of the reason she became a fairy knight. One day I told her, "If you don't want to be called a dog, you need only stop fighting with tooth and claw. Heir of the precious blood, from here on you will fight with the greatest of swords, your horn." Ever since, she began carrying a sword with her wherever she went, until one day her prowess as a knight caught the queen's eye. She then became a fairy knight and began shielding fairies from the Moors of her own volition. I suspect that was because she had long been ostracized as a daughter of the Black Dogs. That allowed her to understand how the weak feel and made her demand responsibility from the strong. I believe the queen called that noblesse oblige. It seems there is no limit to the reach of human civilization's influence. You know, you remind me back when she had just been born. Back then she agonized over having been born strong and hated that she would now have to continuously exploit the weak. There's something about you that reminds me of her disgraceful crying. I see, so you still care deeply for this Gawain person. Hardly. I stopped thinking about her 200 years ago, when she became a fairy knight. What am I saying? Why am I sitting here telling you about my youth instead of my daring exploits? This was a waste of time. Forget tonight ever happened. Erase it from your memory. I'm going back to the tribunal. Okay, take care, Lord Bogart, and please try not to stay up too late. That reminds me, why aren't you afraid of me? That? I think it's because Sheffield is such a beautiful city, and I'm told you were the one who restored it from almost nothing. Even though it's a fortress city, it puts the livelihood of the fairies who live in it first, making it a bright and comfortable place to live. I don't think I could ever be afraid of anyone who set out to build a city like that. Well, of course, Sheffield is much more beautiful than Norwich ever was. But that ends today. We will be closing our gates as of tomorrow. Once the fight with Morgan's army begins, no one will call the city beautiful any longer. What was that, Lord Bogart? That's the alarm bell from the sentry tower. But why now? They can't possibly be here already. What's going on? What's the situation? Don't tell me the Queen's army crossed the Eastern Mountains atop the Oberona in only 2 days? They have, sir. The Queen's army is drawing steadily closer to the main gate. We also received a message from them not too long ago. Would you like to read it? No, you read it. Just summarize it for me. What did Morgan say? Well, that is... I can't read, sir. Well, what are you waiting for? Tell me. Yes, sir. It says, hand over the child of prophecy, and I will grant Sheffield its freedom. The child of prophecy? Does she mean Lady Mash? But why? What about Norwich? Does it say anything about giving Norwich back to us? No wait, what does she mean? Grant us our freedom? Does that mean she doesn't care if Lord Bogart continues to grow his army? Darcie pizdy w języku zwierzaków. Is that what you think, Morgan? You think our rebellion poses no threat to you? How much must you humiliate the Funk clan before you will be satisfied? Excuse me, sir, I have an urgent message. The sentry just confirmed that Gawain's flag is at the head of the Queen's army. Fair Knight Gawain is leading the advance. Oh, is she now? Very tricky, Queen. She talks big, but shows us she sees us as a threat just by sending who she did. The very fact that she would send her right-hand woman to deal with us is proof that she fears our army. She knows she can't possibly take down Sheffield while Knocknarea is sending out troops up north. So she chose to negotiate rather than try and put us down, which means the army out there is only for show. No wonder they got here so quick, they can't possibly be armed for battle. So which will it be? Will she give Norwich back to us, or send enough troops to dispel the calamity pool? I look forward to hearing which answer you choose, O Queen of Britain. Lord Bogart, it isn't just Gawain's flag. Tristan and Lancelot flags have been spotted as well. All three of the fairy knights are headed this way. The most powerful forces in fairy Britain are all bearing down on us as we speak. What? All three of them? Muzyczka się zmieniła. Mamy więcej notek teraz? Aha, jest. The Legend of Aske the Savior, The War of Summer, Era of High Queen Morgan, Ainsel, Chief of the Mirror Clan, makes her prophecy, Calde arrives. Nie ma Caterpillar War? Najwyraźniej pojawi się dopiero jak dowiemy się, o co z tym chodziło. To czas na bitwę o Helmowy Jar. All troops are in position, Lady Gawain. What would you have us do? Remain on standby until the messenger we sent to Bogart returns. Tell Tristan's forces to do the same. What is Lancelot doing? Lady Lancelot is standing by in the air. She says she will drop into the castle once the fighting begins. The Queen's orders were to cleanse Sheffield thoroughly, in addition to Bogart's army. Everyone in the castle, military or otherwise, will be considered targets for Lady Lancelot. Fine, we don't need them lined up anyway. Tell Lancelot to drop on the back gate when the time comes. If they try to let the Child of Prophecy escape, that's where they will do it. Bogart, if you open your gates to us now, this can all end without bloodshed. Don't make me use my horn on you. Look at your forces and look at ours. You are a rational fairy. You must see that resistance would be full. Incoming message, my lady. The messenger we sent to Sheffield just returned with Bogart's reply. It says, "There is no child of prophecy in my castle. All you will find here is contempt for the queen. This castle and I are one. If I should return to the earth, its purpose will also come to an end. P.S. Fuck you." That's all he wrote. That fool. Squads 1 and 2, ready your siege gear. Sheffield's ramparts will be difficult to break through. They may even be more formidable than my fall weather. Be prepared for casualties as high as 20%. Yes, my lady, we are prepared to accept any fate in the name of the Queen. Damn you, Bogart, your reach exceeds your grasp. Did you really think Her Majesty would give Sheffield special treatment simply because it keeps Knocknarea in check? You were a fool to underestimate us. We don't need to ambush Knocknarea to keep Camelot safe from here. No truly capable leader in your position would have made such a grievous error in judgment. Your time is over, you old fool. All that remains now is for me to put you out of your misery. Assemble the troops, prepare to hold the castle. Send word to Knocknarea. Tell her we can hold out on our own for 2 days and to send backup before then. At Bogart's command, Sheffield began its true battle. Many high-ranking fairies said no one told them all 3 fairy knights would be there, and that they should just give up the Child of Prophecy. But Bogart quickly put an end to their dissent. It wasn't clear whether he did it because he didn't want the Child of Prophecy to protect him, or because he wanted to save her as a last resort. Whatever his reasons were, his decision was correct. If they had given up the Child of Prophecy, every fairy in Sheffield would have been cruelly slaughtered that much sooner. Report from the sentry tower. The enemy siege weapons are burning the ramparts. They've already burned through 1 layer of tree bark. The Earth Clan fairies are using oak trees to reinforce their walls, but at this rate they won't last the night. They need immediate backup. The soldiers stationed atop the ramparts have their hands full fending off invaders scaling the walls. We outnumber them now, but they are better trained than we are. It's only a matter of time until they outnumber us as well. So far the fighting has yet to reach the town thanks to our soldiers' valiant efforts, but... What was that? Did Gawain just break in on her own? Lancelot is attacking from above. She's destroying the barracks. It's no use, she's too fast for even the Wind Clan fairies to track. There is no way we can shoot her down. Get her down to the ground even if you have to destroy one of the barracks. Lancelot is like a bee, all speed and no power. Ha. As long as we can ground there, I can easily... Now what is that? Did they just fire a cannon at us? No sir, it's Gawain. She's using her Galatine on the main gate. She's already burned through the gate's bark down to the 10th layer. We will never be able to regrow it in time if she keeps hammering on it. Damn that girl. What about the castle grounds? Are the soldiers' information? No sir, the citizens are so panicked they keep getting in the way. Some fairies are even starting to riot, demanding that we let them out from the rear gate. Whatever you do, do not open the rear gate. If even one fairy makes it out, the whole thing will collapse. Never mind the throne room, Captain. Get down there and suppress those riots. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go, you lot. There's too much chaos at both the ramparts and the castle. We can't fight everywhere at once. Please, Lord Bogart, tell us what we should do. You are the one who said we could fight off the Queen's army here. Or are you going to send out the Child of Prophet? I know, damn it. We just need to put out one of those fires, yes? Well, we've got a magecraft cannon of our own. Let's see what kind of power the Child of Prophecy truly has. Enraged, Bogart ran to the iron cylinder mounted on the castle keep as fast as his legs could carry him. He didn't think that alone would actually change the battle's course. At best, he hoped that it might provide an opportunity to turn the tide. Little did he know that fateful pull of the trigger would be the beginning of Sheffield's end. The attack that would transform the battle from a siege into a scene of pure annihilation. Fuck, walka. 7, czyli potem jeszcze 8, 9 i ten teraz, no go. The shaft of light that all but exploded from the castle changed everything. The 600 Royal Army soldiers who had been laying siege to the gate vanished in an instant. Sheffield soldiers who had been fighting valiantly atop the rampart died on the spot, blood gushing from their bodies. Those fairies merely near the beam's path breathed their last peacefully, and thought they had only fallen asleep. The ramparts, which hasn't so much as budged when struck with Gawain's Galatine, were now completely melted down, barely leaving behind a husk. Even the fairy knights, who had been standing before the main gate could no longer be seen amidst the haze of white smoke. Lady Gawain, she's... For just a moment terror gripped the battlefield. Both the Queen's army, who had suddenly lost their will to fight, and the soldiers of Sheffield, who would normally have welcomed the turn of the tide, reeled at the nightmare that had sprung up around them. Amidst the white smoke, only a single figure was still standing, though his breathing was shallow and ragged. Trochę mu się wychudło. Ha! Ha, ha. Lord Bogart! That was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Behold, my soldiers, if this isn't fortune smiling on us, I don't know what is. We can win, we can still win, not even the fairy knight can touch me while I have this. With this I can obliterate anything that stands in my way, and not just Morgan. I can be rid of that fool Woodwose, Knocknarea from the north, and the Calamity Pool Triton in Norwich. This is incredible, just magnificent. Though it was right in front of him to see, Bogart remained blind to the truth. He failed to realize how odd it was that the dead Queen's soldiers had vanished without a trace. He failed to notice his own soldiers' painful deaths on the ramparts. He failed to see the fairies who had collapsed near the castle, and the soldiers right next to him who had fallen like withered trees. The child of prophecy fell to her knees in despair, aghast at the horrors her sins had brought about. It wasn't just that she had inadvertently harmed the townspeople she cared so deeply for. Was it the fact that she had brought the cylinder here? That was part of it. Was it her inability to stop Bogart? Certainly that was a part of it too. More than anything, she felt her greatest sin was her own weakness. Her failure to consider the effect she had on those around her, or the reason she was here in the first place, using the loss of her memory as an excuse. Now, what's next? Where is that accursed Lancelot flying about? Here, child of prophecy, come here. You can wield this even more accurately, right? You see that blue bee buzzing around up there? I want you to shot it down, along with the Queen's army. Bogart turned, oblivious to what was happening to him. There he was. Why must I harm this beautiful world? Forget about him, Mash. Come on, we need to get out of here. But what about Lord Bogart? We can't leave him here alone. Don't you worry about me, you really are weak and useless, aren't you? I have no need for a queen who weeps over war. Go on, take her wherever you like. There, you see, Bogart made his choice. He'd rather stay here and kill his enemies. What do you want to do? What can you do? I have to help the townspeople escape. Okay, I'd rather just make a break for it myself, but if that's what you want, I'm game. Now come on, let's hurry. See you, Bogart. Don't worry about my tab. I will be taking your bride as my payment. Bogart, please be careful. Lady Gawain, you are alright. I can't believe it. You can't believe what? Oh, you mean that light round? That was just a beam of hot magical energy. The only threat it posed was a bit of iron poison. It was crude and used without heart. I can't even compare to a single strike from High Queen Morgan. Now, what are you all doing? And you call yourself the cream of Camelot's crop? Hurry up and resume your advance. That fool Bogart just destroyed his own town's greatest defense. Now's our chance to seize the castle. Pay no heed to the ones fleeing. All you need to concern yourself with is Sheffield's castle. The Queen's army poured in through the front gates as the soldiers of Sheffield tried to fight back. Some of the townspeople hid in their homes, holding up their hands in surrender when the Queen's soldiers broke in. Others saw that the front gate was lost and scrambled to make their way to the rear one. Fair Knight Gawain remained steadfast at the front gate, glaring at the castle keep a kilometer away. To Bogart, who had become utterly enthralled by the cylinder's sheer destructive power, she may as well have painted a target on herself. You think you can match this power, girl? You think you can distract me? Cursed Knight of Morgan, let's see how tall you can stand after I fire another shot straight at you. Distracted by his elation, Bogart failed to realize that the weapon's poison was eating away at him. The only thing on his mind were his animosity for Gawain, the fairy knight he despised, and admiration for its magnificent leadership. That little girl has become quite the fine knight, he thought, as his lip curled into a smile. At that moment he recalled the other girl's tears just a brief moment ago. For the first time in all his life, Bogart found himself on a battlefield wondering one simple thing. Why? Why was the girl crying? Why had she been so upset? What reason could she possibly have for such sadness? Try as he might, Bogart could not understand. What am I saying? This is war, and I have a weapon that can defeat my enemy. Weapons exist to be used. What more is there to consider? Sheffield belongs to me. I will never let you bastards have so much as a single citizen. Even as he grew dimly more aware that his true anger lay not with the fairy knights, but with his own cowardice. Bogart placed his incredibly numb finger on the trigger and prepared to fire his last shot. It looks like the castle is still safe. Can we evacuate the townspeople here? We could, but then there would be nowhere for them to run. They'd all end up either captured or killed. If you really want to save everyone, then we will need to open the rear gate and secure an escape route for them. Sure, it will basically hand Sheffield to the enemy, but that was going to happen sooner or later anyway. The townspeople may not have a lot of great options available to them. But whether they died to the Queen's army, head north to become Noknarea's slaves, or get lost in the Night Call's domain, it could at least be their choice. Now come on Mash, let's head to the rear gate. Just make sure you run for it if you see a fairy knight, okay? They are here for you after all. I will. Let's go, have a trot. Please open the gate, the Queen's soldiers are right on our heels. If they catch us, they are gonna tax us. I don't have that much longer left to live, there's no way I will survive another taxation. Tylko pokazuje, jak piramida Maslowa jest nieadekwatna i poniżej poziomu potrzeb fizjologicznych jest potrzeba uniknięcia podatków. Calm down, we can't open the gate, besides it wouldn't change anything. It won't be long now before Lord Bogart sends the Queen's army packing. Return to your homes and await his victory. Those of you without homes, tend to the castle. Head to the castle. We guards can't stay here any longer either. We need to hurry to the front gate. We don't have time for this. We can't go back to our homes. All the fire raining down from above would burn us alive. And the Queen's soldiers are already occupying the castle. Our only choice is to run for it. Noknarea's army is practically next door, right? I'm sure they will help us. After all, they are the King clan. Now get out of our way, you useless cretin. Lord Bogart can't save us, he's the disappointment of the Fang clan. Yeah, Bogart failed, he's too weak to be a lord. He had no business challenging the Queen of all people. You bastards! Oh man, things are at the boiling point over here too. First it's the Queen's soldiers, now we have to worry about a possible riot too. It's not like yelling at the guards is going to do anyone any good, though I do get why they are doing it. Damn it, this way is blocked too. Bogart sure covered his bases. How about the sewer, Wag? Can we make it out from there? No dice, Rob. There's a wall blocking our way here too. I know they were probably just trying to seal off ways an enemy could sneak in, but this is overkill. Crap, then we really don't have our way out of here. What about the rear gate, Wag? Did you see how they open it? Of course, Rob. I've been keeping an eye on the guards here just like you told me to. There are levers hidden behind the third pillar in both the left and right guardhouses. All we gotta do is raise raise and lower them. The two of us should be able to manage it. Oh, but be careful not to step on the stake at the lever's foothold. It's a safety mechanism that will make the whole thing stop working once it's broken. Wow, that's great, Quack. I'm impressed. You've really grown up. Heh, really? You mean it? Then does that mean I can make it on my own like Winky? Don't do that, that would be cringe. Eventually, sure, but don't worry about that unless I get captured. Okay, let's sneak in and get that gate open. These Sheffield ferries have treated us to a lot of good booze. This is the least we can do to repay... Oh crap, it's the Queen Army. They are already here. Forget the gate, Wag. Stay out of sight here and keep an eye on things. Damn it, we are a little too late. This is gonna be a bloodbath. Huh? But why can't we open the gate then? Wouldn't that help? Don't be stupid. Didn't I teach you to play it safe? What's the most important thing in the world? Your life, right? Then you've got to take good care of it. After all, what's the point of having something valuable if you don't save it for when it really counts? Hey, yeah, you're right. We can't sell ourselves short. Okay then, let's stay here in the sewer until Rob, look, over there. Someone's sending the Queen's soldiers flying. It's Anise. Anise is here to save us. I told you she's called the Mash now. Anyway, change of plans. Let's sneak into the guardhouses while she's got everyone's attention. Ooh, alright, way to go, Mash. That's our child of prophecy. The Queen's army bore down on the panicked ferries, crowding around the rear gate. The guards advanced to lead them, but could not make it through the press of so many bodies. Soon the Queen's soldiers would set upon the ferries, trying desperately to escape. Once first blood was shed, there would be no going back. The ferries were too frightened to think straight, so the Queen's soldiers regarded them as violent dissidents. Soon the rear gate would become a bloodbath from which none would escape alive. Unless, of course, she had something to say about it. Huh? Lady Mash, what are you doing here? I came to help. Can you open the rear gate, Lute? I'm not authorized to make that call, but then again, if the Lord's Lady wishes to pass through the gate, I guess we have no choice but to open it. Thank you. Not at all, milady. I was this close to doing something I would have regretted forever, some guard I turned out to be. Someone help me open the gate, and hurry, don't let the Queen's army into the guardhouses. Don't let them touch the safety mechanisms either. If you see anyone suspicious in there, kill them. Oh, I'm sure it's not a flag. I've located a ferry that appears to be the child of prophecy, moving in for the kill. You four with me. The rest of you dispose of these fairies. Don't let a single seed of dissent escape. Oh no you don't. You are facing me and me alone. If it's bloodshed you want, then it's bloodshed you will get. I am Fairy Knight Galahad, the Knight of Sheffield. O, tarcza się świeci. I am your enemy, and I will stop you all right here, right now. Co się od Fairy Knight. Increase attack and NP gain. Fajnie mieć to z powrotem. Weak. Oj, to NP wygląda jak placeholder. Gee, they are weak. To jest yourself.
神明了解押し切ります。それは全ての傷 全ての怨恨を癒す我らが故郷。権限せよロード・キャメロット。倒します。よっこいしょっと。急な仕事は任せて。スピンドルセット。いい感じ。急げや急げ、明日が納期だ。ハッピーエンドをお届けするよ。せーの、ブライダルスピンホイール。いっちゃうぜ。僕の花嫁に手を出すなよ。神明会長、了解。押し切ります。それは全ての傷、全ての怨恨を癒す我らが故郷。権限せよロード・キャメロット。倒します。やべ。神明会長、私は最悪の席に立つ。はい、落ち着いて。ターゲット。ふっやー、倒します。
Jest kurde różnica między tym strojem a Ortinaxem. Okej, to tutaj będziemy na dzisiaj kończyć. Zostaje nam połowa 7, 8 i 9, a potem czekać do... który to będzie wtedy? Do 20 albo 19 na drugą paczkę. A potem to już w ogóle jakieś 1,5 miesiąca. No więc cóż, mam nadzieję, że się podobało. Zostawcie lajka, jeżeli tak, ci, którzy oglądają powtórkę. I do zobaczenia na kolejnym. Ja muszę już wybrać, jaki rozdział z Władcy Pierścieni będzie nazywał się kolejny, ten, tamten. No, na razie.